Hello there people, this is Bruce Be Cool or nintenbruce here, and I'm going to talk to you about a little card game that I've been getting into recently called War of Omens. This is a two-player card game where you battle against both the computer as well as online opponents in a battle just to try and claim as many resources as possible and to finish off the opponent. And you do that by purchasing new cards from the bank, slowly building up your army and catering to your own playstyle. Now the unique thing about War of Omens is, unlike a lot of other card games, this one, besides having a deck style as such where you can alter cards, change the different attack patterns and attack strengths, you can actually change your class completely, so the deck engine could be completely different to another player that you come across. And at the moment this is across 4 classes. The reason I say at the moment is because they can always update the game and put another class in, which they have done previously. The game started off with 3 classes and then they've added a 4th one, which again is completely different to the other 3 playstyles. Now regardless of the class or the playstyles, the resources in the game are the same. So you're battling for them all, and obviously the more resources you have, the better chance you have of winning. The resources are food, where you can heal your allies and in some cases it triggers certain other effects. Coins or gold, however you like to call it, that's so you can purchase your cards and in some cases activate certain other cards as well. Spells, which are cast by yourself as the hero onto either the hero opposite or onto an existing ally that's on the field of the opponent. And magic, which classes as all of the above. So goes without saying, if you've got a chance to convert things into magic, you go for it. So now we talk about the 4 current classes. You have the Vespertol, where their main goal is to purchase cards from the bank, and their engine is to simply draw into those cards, and as you play them you then draw another card, so you could quite quickly swarm an opponent once your deck starts filling up. The Daramek, where they're all about gaining random resources and sacrificing the allies to create either more resources or to even create more powerful cards that you have previously purchased. The Matrice, which relies on backhanded tactics as such, so whether you thieve your opponent's cards or you can even set bombs which create a large amount of damage, and you can even go about stealing or just wiping out your opponent's resources. And the Enderzu, where they're all about gaining magic and using that usually as the currency, as well as charging up certain cards. So the longer you charge them, whether it be by holding them in your hand or feeding magic to them, the more effective they are, so whether it be more attacks or even gaining more magic. The other thing I love about this game is, besides the 4 classes playing completely differently, they also have different art styles between all of them. So you can usually tell, besides the whole green, blue, red and purple faction colours, what is a Vespertol card and what is a Matrice card. The art styles are very detailed in general between all the card types as well. They are definitely pleasant to look at, to say the least. The other thing that's also pleasing to the eyes, as well as the wallet, where if you're like me and love a good freebie, is that this game is free to play online. Now you can put money into the game if you wanted to, and you can buy little bits here and there just to make your cards better, or in general gaining new cards, as well as getting alternate outfits and other bits and pieces for the game if you wanted to. And they start from small prices to, if you got really addicted, you can purchase some heavy bundles in here. But the fact that you can get into it for free, have no penalty either, like some freemium games out there where if you lose a life and you gotta wait 20 minutes just to be able to play again. This one you can just play as many times as you want, and even if you don't win, you still get extra in-game cash to be able to purchase better cards, which is the addictive thing about this game. The fact that there's no consequence means, well, by the time you next look at your watch or clock, about 2 or 3 hours have even passed. So that is a really good thing that they have done with this game. A very good mechanic, which, well, you can't go wrong really, can you, with that? There are also daily quests to complete, which in turn give you more money in game to be able to purchase extra cards for completing those tasks. And sure, some of them are quite difficult, especially when starting out, like if you're going up against the harder difficulty settings, but some of the daily quests in general are just for playing a certain amount of games. So again, it keeps you enticed and wanting to play the game more, you know, wanting to get that achievement and get the reward for it. Now, in terms of what you can spend your in-game money on, there's actually different currencies. There's your general in-game silver, I guess you can call it, or in-game coins, where you can just purchase extra decks, just like that. That's all they're for. But hey, that's the basis of the game, isn't it? To try and create better decks. You get to choose your packs that you get to go for as well. So whether it be the common pack, which is the cheapest, or the rarer ones, which require either different types of money or just require more silver to pump into it. That leads us to our next bit. There's also the gems, which are quite rare rather to get in this game. You can get them for free by completing daily collections, which are in amongst the daily quests, which in general give you 250 silver as well, so you're definitely going to want to do them. But those gems, you can either purchase rare packs or purchase alternate costumes, which in turn grant extra experience for your characters to gain more cards. And then there's the ingots, which are used to craft cards. Now, crafting in general is supposed to be done by gaining multiple copies of the same card. So, for example, Cull the Herd, if you've just pulled the basic card, it costs you 3 gold to play in-game. However, if you get just a few copies of it, you can then upgrade it and it costs only 2 gold to play in-game. And then you've got to get quite a few more copies to make it the ultimate version. But instead of doing all that and relying on random pulls, you can just simply pump your ingots into the cards that you can possibly do it to, and that'll just upgrade it for you instead. My advice to anyone starting the game off and not knowing what to purchase, I would go straight away with the oak packs, because not only are you going to get common cards and then slowly build them up, but there's still the possibility of pulling uncommon, scarce, and even the epic cards, which, you know what, for the cheapest in-game amounts to spend, why not? Now, besides the general game against the computer player or an opponent online, there are a few other modes to have a look at here. There's the tutorial mode, so besides brushing up on what resources do or how the general card mechanics work, there's also tutorials about the different factions. Now, at the time of making this video, there's only the tutorial for the Vespertol faction at this moment in time, but there's already the spaces there for the other factions. It's just a case of waiting for the updates and then learning more from them there. There's also the campaign mode, where you take the role currently of one of the Vespertol heroes and go through her storyline, going through more and more games to find out more and more about her and the progress of her crew. Now, when you complete a chapter, you also get a substantial reward for it, which entices you to play the campaign more often. And you can also choose the difficulty, and the higher the difficulty, the greater the reward. Now, each game that you play in the chapter might be the same character, but with different abilities usually, so it never becomes stale. And then there's the tournament mode, which is a unique little take on your general card game tournaments, where your cards are mostly random. So you get given a set amount of packs, you choose the best cards from what you feel would help you in the tournament, and then you take that deck into the tournament and go against other players. Now, these players are online only, and if the server isn't too populated, you could end up against the same person. But you know what, that's okay, because even if you've lost against that person, there's the possibility to change your cards, not so much mid-game, but after that particular single game. So if you do go up against the same opponent in a tournament, then you'd have filled the hole that was in your deck before when facing that opponent last time. To enter these tournaments, you do have to have a draft ticket, which sounds like it's going to be a lot of hard work, but all it is by completing a daily challenge. It's really not that difficult at all, and it's fun. Even if you do lose in the tournament, you still get a pack of some sort for your efforts. So there we have it, War of Omens. Not a bad game at all, especially when it's free to play. Now luckily enough, there is an active forum for this game online. I'll put the link in the video description down below and you can check it out. And in those forums you can talk about anything, whether it be talking about deck types and maybe even asking for help creating one, maybe even clarifying rulings, or even just in general venting about possibly overpowered cards or how you've been done over online. You can literally talk about anything there. On top of that, there's also the developer's Twitter page where you can post comments, and in general you're going to get all the updates about the game, whether it be additions to alternative outfits or new card types that are coming out. You'll definitely get all the information and updates you need from there. Now there is one last thing to talk about. And it is good news. I did actually get given some keys for players who are interested in the game War of Omens. Now I'm only going to give it to my subscribers who are older than a set amount of time. I'll have to, figure that one out, but the last thing I want to do is give out keys to people who just look at the video, subscribe for a day and go, can I have the key please, and then that's it. That's not how it's going to work, and it is limited, the amount of keys I've got. So if you are genuinely interested in this game and want to give it a bash, then get in contact with me, whether it be a comment down below or if you send me a personal message, and I'll be able to give you a key. I've only got a few though, so get in quick and enjoy the game, people. I know I haven't looked back. So until next time guys, you take care of yourselves, and I will see you again soon.